Okay.
Recording in progress.
Yay.
All right, welcome everybody to our Facebook Live, and we're back on Facebook after having been testing out YouTube Live for a while. So we're on Facebook, and we're going to stay back on here for now for our live streams, but we will also post the recordings up on YouTube afterwards, so you could view them there if it's a little easier for you. Either way. So today we're really excited to show off our newest Niji items. We have two new watercolor sets that we're going to show you all the colors and how they're packaged and all the beautiful things about them. There's a 12 color essential set and a 24 color studio set. The watercolors are part of our Niji Artist Watercolor series. The 12 color essential set retails for $29.80, and the Niji Artist Watercolors studio set with 24 colors retails for $52. And to go along with these watercolor sets, we also have new watercolor paper pads. So we're really excited about these. People know us for our washi or our Japanese rice paper, but we're really excited to branch out and offer you some watercolor paper pads now. They're these really cute 5x7-inch postcard size pads. We have them in cold press and hot press. And they come with 15 sheets each, and they're 300 GSM or 140 pounds. So they're really lovely paper to work with. Also, like I said, available on cold press and hot press. And the cold press pad and the hot press pad both retail for $16.80. So we're gonna have Karen show us just how beautiful these are and how they work. And before I turn it over to her, I just want to mention to everybody that since we're back on Facebook, we are bringing back our giveaways. So to enter the giveaway, and I'm also gonna drop the giveaway entry instructions into the comments. All you need to do is comment your first name and last initial. So for example, I would write Phoebe L, and tell us where you're watching from. And we'll do a drawing at the end of the video to pick a winner. And please note that right now we're only having the giveaway. Only participants watching in the US or Canada are eligible for a giveaway. So thank you for your understanding. Sorry, we're not opening it up to international viewers quite yet. All right, and that's it from me. So thank you all and enjoy the demo.
Thank you, Phoebe. Welcome. For those who've just joined in, I'm able to see a feed. So I noticed Wanda's here, Denise is here, and Jean is here, and Trina. So glad that you're here. This is really exciting. I really love these. Oh, and see who else is here. I want to say hello to everybody. Whatever I could see there. But I wanted to share, we're excited about this. This is something we've been developing probably a good part, more than a year, right, Phoebe? Wouldn't you say?
Yes, more than a year.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been, and I'll tell you why. It's not because of the supply chain or anything. It's actually because Phoebe and I took lots of care in choosing these colors. These are not just colors that a manufacturer suggests. Our supplier, we got to work with our supplier and pick out colors that are specifically, that are special. They're not in any set that you would find. And I just realized, okay, so these are great. I'm gonna go grab my other paints because I don't want to bore you with unwrapping all these, but these all come in with these cute little candy wrapper type pans. And I'm not going to unwrap all of them, but anyway, each one is wrapped individually, which is a fresh, keeps it fresh, or in the shipping process, it keeps it nice and great in case it was any moisture that would get into the container. So each one is wrapped individually, and then you can just pop them back in. So that's just kind of how you do that, but I'm not going to bore you with that. So I'm going to get my sets out. My lovely sets. Let's see which one this one is. Yep. Oh, this one. I just actually took the thing out of that one. Here we go. This is not. I'm going to take a second to grab my sets. And I know I put them somewhere because I'm trying to be all organized. And where did they go? Well, I've got the 12 color set. I'm going to grab out of this thing. Oh, I see it. I'm going to take a second to grab them because I want you to see. I want to talk about these colors and why they're so special. Okay, so here's the set unwrapped and used, a little gently used already. I've been painting my heart out with them. But so you can see when they're new, they come out with, they come with these. So unwrap those, get rid of the papers. The color names are on all of these because these are artist grade paper and artist grade colors. They have permanence ratings, and pigment index. So this is this color, the burnt sienna, is a single pigment. And you may have a couple of double or triple pigments, but mostly these are chosen for their transparency, this set. So I'm going to kind of talk to you about this set, the 12 color. 12 colors are made or chosen specifically so that they mix well with each other. They're really, it'd be very difficult to create mud because these are just all very nice, all transparent colors. These are non-toxic. They're, like I said, they're artist grade and they won't fade over time. They are highly pigmented. So instead of unwrapping each one of these, I'm going to just show you, we'll work with the one I have, the one that I've been working with. You can see it's being well used. But so this is them. And then you can always take these little things out. Let's say you want to rearrange the tin. I don't know why you want to, but if you wanted to, you could. Also, if you have other colors, like let's say you have half pans of other colors you want to put in this 12, you can put these half pans will fit right in there. In fact, I'm going to take one out and show you. I can fit more pans in there if I wanted to, but that's why we have the other set. So I'm going to show you that too. So these colors, like I said, are beautiful. So this one here, this is the 12 color set. This is a swatch I did earlier. And we have gamboge hue. It looks kind of, you could see, it looks kind of like a sienna. It doesn't quite look like a yellow, but it is the best mixing yellow in this set, in this whole line of colors. So that's why it was chosen for this set. It will mix gorgeous colors. And I'm going to show you in a little bit how we'll do that. Burnt umber, which is a nice brown for you. Burnt sienna will give you some nice, warm tones. The alizarin crimson and permanent rose are nice mixing reds. One's more pink and one's a little bit on the warmer side. Purple lake is a beautiful mixing color. It will mix beautiful combinations, whatever you use. It will create beautiful tones. Instead of using a black, we have a Payne's gray because black is a very, very intense kind of really hard to work with color sometimes. I believe in watercolor. Payne's gray is great for mixing, and indigo is just a beautiful color and must be in every set as far as I'm concerned. We also have phthalo blue, which with gamboge will make a beautiful green mixed with a permanent rose. It'll make a beautiful purple. So that's why these colors were chosen for this set. And that's this one's called the essential set. So that's for color mixing, and you get 12 colors. Now for the other set, 24 colors, which are also chosen basically when I think, I don't know how many colors I had to look at, but maybe 120 colors. Maybe Phoebe can remind me, but we had lots of colors to choose from. And this is the colors that were chosen. And the reason that they were chosen is not only for the mixing capabilities, but also for the brilliance and the intense color, the colors that you can get without making mud. And that was my whole thing. So lemon yellow. So if you look at it, you'll get another range of colors, the lemon yellow, the gamboge, but having those two, a warmer and a cooler yellow, if that makes sense. But one that's a little more bright out of the box is the lemon yellow. And then got some cadmiums, but they're not the actual cadmium colors. They are the hue. They're a little less, they're semi-transparent. They're not opaque like a cadmium. So that's the reason we picked them. Rose madder hue, permanent rose, quinacridone magenta. Look how gorgeous these are just by themselves. And what I loved about them is that they lay down very smooth and with really, really amazing smoothness, basically. I think that the pigments are very finely ground and just beautiful. So that's just them by themselves. So let me take you to start playing with them a little bit. So I want to share this little, the reason I had this out, and then we'll get to the papers. But the reason I have this little journal page out was yesterday I made this journal page. I think it was yesterday, or it could have been the day before. I think it was Wednesday. In fact, some of the ladies that are here today we did this together. I think I did. We've got some blues. I've got different colors going on here, but I wanted to share this one because this is made entirely with this set. And what I had done is to make all these muted tones is I just started to put some color. I think I started with this blue, and then I added a new color every time into the old color, which made it very muted. And that's kind of how I got that, which was really a fun thing. Now, the person that inspired me to do this, the artist that inspired me to do this, her name is Wendy Solganic, and she is Willow Wanders on Instagram, and she has willowwanders.com. The reason I'm mentioning her because not only she's just inspiring, and I would suggest you go out and check her out if you don't know her already. But her technique she calls the mother method, and I'm just mentioning it. I won't share with you the whole thing because it's her thing, but I really want you to know how much fun it was, and I want her to know if she hears this or sees this or hears of it, how much fun it was to mix colors that way, and it kind of not in a very scientific way, just in a very intuitive way. And it was just really fun to do. So I'm going to just this is just a sketchbook, or it's a watercolor journal that I have. And I think it's by, I can close it, Indigo Art Papers. So that's that, stickled on all edges, and I like that. But I'm going to share with you our watercolor blocks, or these papers, because I love that we now have 5. I'm just so happy that Yasutomo has brought in these papers. These are 100% cotton. And they are nice, very, very heavy, heavy paper. It's not really going to wrinkle. It's not on a block. It's actually only bound on one edge. So if you take this little top off, you can use that for something, I guess, later. You've got a nice little block that you can take anywhere you want to go. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to get my 12 color set. Nope, I can't use that one. My little one, there it is. I'm going to grab that one first. And I'm just going to show you, just going to pull out, I'm going to just demonstrate the colors a little so you can at least see them in action. You'll know. This one is the hot press. Now, the difference between this hot press and, let's say, other brands, I'm kind of leaning it towards the light. It's not a super smooth, hot press. It has some tooth to it, which I really like. There's a little difference between the two. Let me grab this one and show you. Take the paper off. And I'm going to show you the difference. This one is the cold press, and this is the hot. Now, really, there's the subtle difference between the two, and I don't know if you see that, but this is not rough. It's not like a rough watercolor paper. It's more like a natural, what I normally see in a cold press. This one here, the cold press. The one I have in my right hand is the hot press, but what I like, it's not truly a true hot press. It's kind of a hybrid between a cold and a hot press. So I'm thinking I'd like to call it just an iron that just didn't get too hot and it didn't get too flat. I like it that there's going to be some areas that the paint is going to grab onto. So that's kind of why it's hot press, but it's not that smooth plate finish type hot press that you would see. So I'm going to grab a paper towel, which I thought I had, or I can grab a rag, anything to paint with. I thought I had it here on my table, so bear with me there. I'm going to grab that. I've got a little paper towel here. I've got a water brush. I've also got water here, but I just want to bring out the portability of this, the nice portability of all this. Now, my colors are all mixed up because I've been using it, but just going to show you how it is in action. You can also take just a spritzer and just spritz all of the colors down. Just want to show you how quickly they dissolve and how beautiful they are. So this is the new Gamboge, which is fabulous. Now the next color that looks, this one is quinacridone. I'm not sure, I should look it up. Oh, I forgot. I'll get my color chart. I don't want to lead you astray. So that's right. This is the gamboge hue. And then I picked out of the next one, we have the burnt umber. So I'm just going to show you how pretty that is. And it's just a beautiful color. And what's nice about it, I'm going to take that burnt umber and I'm going to mix that up with some of this in here. This is like some red that was in there. Now I'm just going to do another swatch. And I just made that that burnt umber even a little, have added that little bit of red, and it's still very vibrant and pretty. And just notice I have some embossing powder. You can see there's a grain. That's not from the paper. I have some embossing powder on my table and some of it transferred. So that's why that looks grainy. But I'm going to take some of the next color, which is burnt sienna, just pure out of the container. Very pretty. And now I'm going to take that burnt sienna and I'm going to mix it up with I'm just going to use up what's in my tray. I want to use up all my paints, but it's mostly of this burnt sienna. There we are. And I've got it here now. So look at that gorgeous tone of, it's just a pretty color. I love that color. It's kind of a gold, it has a little gold tone to it. So now I'm going to take the next color, which is alizarin crimson hue, and I'm just going to pull it out of it, just give it, nice, just by itself. It's very pretty. And then I'm going to add that same color and I'm going to mix it with the mix that I just did. That's just an abbreviated version of what Wendy was showing on her YouTube channel. So you can make amazing color mixes with this set. And that's what I wanted to share with you about. What I like about this set too is it really wipes out nice and clean. The coated metal here is a very, very good metal. It's very strong and sturdy. It doesn't dent. It's not really flimsy like some of the tins you might find out there may have a really thin metal and they're just kind of flimsy. This is not. These are very, very useful. Let me just pull out some more color here. This is the permanent rose. I'm going to grab that out of here and just show it straight out. But if I mix that permanent rose with some of this green over here, I'm just going to see what I get. I'm going to get a gorgeous, nice, I don't know what that is, a rosy brown, I guess. And it's still very luminous to me. I don't see that it's muddy at all. And one thing I want to share with you is when I first was you were working with these colors, I went through all of the colors. This is the 12 color set, all the colors in it. And I tested all the colors for different properties that will make a good set. Like this gamboge, I wanted to make sure it was transparent, even though it said it on the packaging. I wanted to make sure. I wanted to test it in real life and on a real piece of paper. And it's all the colors when you look, and these are the pigment names. So this gamboge hue has two colors, PY150, PR209. So it's just a couple of pigments. And the burnt umber has two pigments in it. It has a blue and a yellow, or no, it's a brown and a yellow combination. This is just a single pigment, the burnt sienna, very transparent. One color for the alizarin crimson, one pigment for the permanent rose. You can see on my little chart here, one pigment for the purple lake. And this ultramarine is one pure color. And the reason I picked the ultramarine and the phthalo in this set was this will make different mixes than this one. You'll get really brilliant greens and purples, and this you'll get a little more muted tones, but still gorgeous and transparent. No colors here have any residue of pigment on top of these little black lines. And the Viridian was another great mixing color. And then on the back here, sap green, indigo, and Payne's gray, they also were very transparent. And you can see I also tested the spreading and staining capacity, like if they stain or if they lift well. Lifting means that there's some, these lines here show that these lift very well, so you can get your lights back if you lose them. So I've got all these colors. Now, I don't know if I tested these or not. I don't remember, because I don't show any lifting anything. So I'm going to check the sap green. It may very well be that it is a staining color, but let's just check it while we're here. because it doesn't look like I tested it. So to do that, to test it, you just take your brush, put some clear water over it, and then blot. And then you can see it has some lifting quality, and that's a good quality. Some of the staining ones, once you put the color down, you're not going to get any light back. That's kind of why I do that test, just to make sure. Let's test the indigo since we're here. And yeah, I must have forgotten. So we'll just do that. And this is how you do it. You just take clear water and not too much of it, and then just run it over a good amount and just see if it lifts, and you'll know if it's lifting. And then you just blot it. Let's see how much it lifts. Not much. It doesn't much. It does a little, but it's a fairly staining quality. This has 3 pigments, and it's probably the most pigment of all of them. But I love the color, and I think you'll love it too. And then I'm going to test the one more, and then we'll know for sure what is going on with all these colors. Let's see. This one, the Payne's Gray, which is also 3 pigments. So those are probably the, like I said, the most complex pigment combinations. And then let's see what that one does. And that has little lifting, not much, but a little. So it's kind of a staining color. So really, out of the 12 set of 12, you've got 10 totally wonderfully lifting colors that lift. And then you have 2 that are staining, but not too bad. So there you go. I didn't have time to do the 24 set, but we also made it really important that we didn't duplicate a lot of the colors in these 2 sets. There's some that are duplications though. Like I believe we have the gamboge in the 2 sets. We have the phthalo blue. I think we have ultramarine blue. There's a few duplications, but there's many that are not. Like, let's say you buy this set, you'll notice that there's some new colors in this one. And I don't know, maybe I'd have to look. I think maybe we may have most of the colors, maybe 1 or 2 are not in that one. So try to make them unique enough so that you would want to buy both and experience both, because they have their own unique experiences. So I'm just going to show you, I'm going to go through this purple lake. Now let me show you how beautifully this mixes. So you've got that purple just by itself, and I'm going to mix it with this green kind of mix here, and I'm going to put that here, and look at that gorgeous. This reminds me of Shadow Violet that Dana Smith has. So it's just a beautiful color, and just mixed it with that little green, and I got this beautiful muted tone. This one here, I'm going to go to the next color, which is my ultramarine. Now I'll explain a little bit why ultramarine is a great color for certain mixes. So here's my ultramarine, gorgeous blue. And I'm going to put the phthalo blue right next to it. So phthalo blue is right next to it. And actually, when you look at phthalo blue right next to ultramarine, it almost gives like a turquoise color. It's quite intensely different. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix some red, some of this alizarin crimson, I think. No, this is the permanent rose. I'm going to mix it with this ultramarine to show you the purple that it makes. Very beautiful. That's very pretty. And then I'm going to mix the same, wiping off the color, and I'm going to mix that same with the with this. I'm going to show you what kind of purple it makes. Of course, it almost dried there, so I'm not getting. There we go. You can it's just a different type of mix, slightly different. So I would prefer to mix the phthalo blue. If I were to do a phthalo blue, I'll mix it with my gamboge, and I'm going to get this incredible green that I can't get anywhere. I love that green. Now let me mix you the ultramarine. That's the ultramarine blue, and I'll mix it with the same gamboge. So I might have a little mix of gamboge with that already. But let me just grab some of the gamboge and show you the green I'll get here. A gorgeous green, but it's just a different green. So you can see how gorgeous those colors are, especially you'll see them when they dry. They just are gorgeous. Let's see, I'm going to go through the other colors. This is the Viridian, and on its own, Viridian is gorgeous. Actually, it's a little intense for my taste usually, but again, it makes an incredible mixing color. I'll take this color up at the top, which is let me take the Purple Lake. Where is it? This is Purple Lake. That's Purple Lake. I'm going to mix it with this Viridian and show you this incredible green, very cool, soft green that I can get from that. So that's just to kind of point out that's why these 12 colors, if you didn't want to buy the whole set, definitely get the 12 color set because you'll have really wonderful mixing experiences. Now we have a sap green that's gorgeous on its own. It's very yellow in tone. And it's great as a mixing color. And then I've got to show you this is the indigo. And I'm not cleaning my brush out too well, but I just want to give you a kind of a nice kind of all the colors on the one page. This color is great to mix with other colors. I'll mix a little bit with this while because it's wet. It makes beautiful tones. So it's not black, but it reads as black if you use it concentrated. So if you need to make things that are, if you want to show like a black area, you can do that. So I love the way these papers, this is the hot press, but it has that nice tooth to it. So it's going to give you those nice little textures. Unlike a hot press traditional, like another brand might have some very smooth, it'd be very, very smooth. It doesn't have that texture. Let's see what else I was going to show you. Oh, I'm going to share with you this fun little thing. I've been swatching out because I love color swatching. I've been swatching these out by using this little grid, and I bought this grid. It's an Art Foamy made by Art Foamies. It's just a little foam stamp, and I stamped one of them with black permanent ink, and the other one, so here's the black, the other one I stamped with a embossing powder and then sprinkled silver embossing powder over it, and I'm getting this really gorgeous, almost stained glass kind of look. So I'm going to actually do some swatching. Now this has 12 and then 24, so I can put all of my Niji watercolors in the one. And so I've got this one here. I wanted to pull out some. I wanted you to see the colors in this one too, because they're also so beautiful. And here I'm going to try to just give you the pure colors and maybe mix some mixes too. So this time, instead of using my water brush, I'm just going to use a round, just a round brush. I gotta find one here that I like. Just a plain number 8 round brush. Oh, I love the water brushes, but I need to get a little more color on my brush quickly. So I'm just going to spritz this whole thing out. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm here to help with any questions you might have. And Phoebe, can you tell, or have you written down the retail prices of these paints, or did you mention them? I remember you mentioned them.
Yeah, but I can say it again. It's always helpful.
Yeah.
The 12 color set of watercolors is $29.80 retail. The 24 color set watercolors are $52 retail. And the cold and hot press pads are both $16.80 retail.
Oh, okay,
The
great.
biggest feedback so far has been how beautiful the colors are.
Yeah, well, they really are. These are not like kids sets. I mean, it'd be great to give kids this stuff, but this is the stuff that is in line with the name brands. We're a name brand, but like the watercolor brands that are known for their watercolors. And this is just in line with that. The quality is just as good. And I think a set like this, if you were to have a set like this from one of the other brands, you would be paying a lot more. So this is a very reasonably priced set for what you're getting. And look at that. I just love this with the embossed little areas. I can just make a swatch and not worry about going over because they kind of puddle in between the embossed areas, which I think is kind of cool. So that's kind of a fun thing. You can just do a quick swatching without worrying about touching the next color. And I like that. Basically it's a little barrier, which is kind of neat. I'm just going to go show you how that, just a little touch right there. And I'll get all my colors and it'll look so pretty. And then when I'm finished, these papers are sized 5x7. So I'm getting an experience right now of making a swatch, which is always very meditative and relaxing. For me, it's because I'm not thinking of a subject matter. I'm just enjoying the color for what it is. And then after that, this is 5x7. So what I can do is mount it straight on a 5x7 card or send it just like this as a postcard and put a message on the back. And I think this will make a delightful card. So you can swatch, get your swatching exercises. You get to learn about your colors, and then you also are making something to share, to give away, or to maybe turn it into a birthday card. I mean, really, the options are pretty open that way. You could put this in an art journal so you remember what colors and write down the sets. So I love this little stamp because it's so versatile for this. I mean, I didn't really think that I would want to use it for anything else, but now that I'm seeing the capabilities, I'm going to be making cards. So look out, here comes Christmas cards in Christmas colors, or a birthday card in someone's favorite colors, or just rainbow of colors like this. It just makes for something really fun and very relaxing. You don't have to draw. You can just have some joy with the color. And I think that's fun. And I'm making a nice little puddle. It'd be fun to see it dry. But these are the colors in the 24 set. It comes with, let me just kind of go over those while I'm here. I'm going to grab my little charts on now. Right now, I just finished using, this is the ultramarine, and now I'm going to the cerulean. So this cerulean blue is not in the 12 color set, but it's a gorgeous color because it's just fantastic for making skies and other beautiful, subtle, soft, pale blues if you want. It's a very soft color, but it's also very brilliant straight out of the pan. And then the next one is the phthalo. So you'll see those blues next to each other and why they're so important to have all of them. If you can have them all, certainly get them all. So here's our phthalo blue, much more intense. You probably want to remember to add lots of water when you're working with phthalo blue. It's just a very intense color. But it's really gorgeous, straight out of the pan. And these are basically the same colors that you would find in tubes, but they have a way to pour them in pans. So they're just really beautiful. Now let's see, next one. This one is Prussian blue. Now that's not in the 12 color set. I want to show you that. It's a gorgeous, kind of a sort of a subtle, I don't know if that, this is Prussian blue. It has an interesting look to it. I don't know what the pigment numbers are. I'll have to look them up, but it's a beautiful blue. It's a very kind of a muted, it's not indigo, it's kind of in between an indigo and maybe a ultramarine blue. It's got some green tones to it. And the next color is another fave. This is I think this is one of my favorite colors. I keep going to this in a lot of things. This one is the turquoise. And it's just a really gorgeous, gorgeous turquoise. So you really don't have to do a lot of color mixing in the 24 color set to get beautiful tones of color and just right out of the pan. Then you can always mix it with other things. And I've got this beautiful green. This is my phthalo green. Phthalo green is chosen instead of Viridian. So we don't have Viridian in this set, and we don't have phthalo green in the 12. Phthalo green is another really good mixing color. Very, very intense. You can see it's probably more intense than the Viridian that we have in the 12 colors set. But it's a great mixing color, so you can mix it with anything and get all kinds of gorgeous combinations. And then after that, we've got Hooker's Green. That's another good one. You picked Hooker's Green Light because it's a very nice dark green. You'll see it kind of comes out really just like ready to be grass or ready to be a leaf. There's no mixing needed. It's kind of a muted, softer version, but still very pretty. This one doesn't stain, doesn't stain very much at all. It's like kind of a cross between the sap green, which we do have in the 12 color set, and also this one. Here's sap. So the sap green is going to have more yellow, and it's a softer, more subtle tone or subtle color. And again, it's sort of ready to be used straight out of the pan, just as a color on its own. So these two, even though the phthalo is a very unnatural, very brilliant green, these two are more like botanical. Then this one, one of my favorite colors of all, it's in this area, even though it's a yellow. I'm going to show you what I mean. When you look at it, it looks, I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's very kind of a, looks like a sienna, but really it's a yellow. This one is called quinacridone gold, and quinacridone gold is one of my favorite mixing colors as far as mixing with other colors. It's a very good color to mix with. So that's why it's there. And on its own, it's gorgeous. So it comes out really translucent and it's very transparent. And the next one we have is, we have burnt sienna. That one's in the 12 color set. The burnt sienna is just a nice transparent color to make neutral tones and natural, if you're into outside things, which if you're a plein air person, like to go out and do your stuff on location, you've got this set in this nice little tin, and you've got all the colors you need to make urban landscapes. You can make botanicals, beach scenes, anything you want. This is sepia. Let's look at that one. I'm just going to do this one right here because it's there. And sepia is just a nice neutral brown, great for buildings. Anything that you want to add brown to. You can even add brown to some of this green and you'll get an incredible mix. Well, let's see, the next one. Did I do sepia? Oh, I don't know. That was burnt umber. Let me do sepia. Or did I? I might have already done it. Come to think of it. I'm just going to move on to the next one because it looks like I already did it. So this one is the sepia. So that's why I freaked out over that. It's hard to tell because the transparent colors look almost the same they look black in a box, but when they come out, the color is really shows once you dilute it. So this sepia is a very intense dark brown. It's very kind of a cooler brown than the burnt umber, much cooler. So if you look at that next to it, it's a much more neutral than the other. And then this one is the indigo. And then so you can see how fun this is. I can just swatch all day. I'm hoping that if you have watercolors, you're swatching too, because it's fun. And then the last but not least is Payne's Gray. And I'm just going to try to do a lighter mix so you can see how beautiful that color is. Instead of the dark, the last time I showed you, it was I had too much color and you didn't see the subtlety of how pretty that color is. So there it is. Payne's Green. I'll just put a little darker amount right there. Let it puddle a little bit. I'll let that dry and then I'll do some more swatching. Maybe instead of just the colors that came out of here, I could use some mixes, kind of like the way that Wendy showed us. So you take your last color and you mix it like this, and then just start making variations of colors. So I've got this nice green tone and that. So let's see, is there anything else I can talk about? Oh, yes, I know what to talk about. I don't want to forget to talk about this. I was showing you the water brush, which is our original water brush that we have had for about 20 or so years. And we've got several sizes. I don't have the small with me, but we have a large tip. This one's never been used. This has got a nice large tip. And I'm going to share with you our newest water brush, our newest one. This is the Premier water brush. And I know that I might have showed you in a couple of last lives, but it's not open. I'm not going to open the box. So this is the large. So this would be the equivalent to the Niji large, but look at the difference. There's a light difference in the point. Let me just get that wet. Oh, that's glued on there. That glue, once a lot of brushes are shipped with the glue on them, and you've got to get that glue out before you can start using them because they're really stiff. So once you get the glue out, you can see, and this isn't as noticeable on the large because these look pretty close. They're similar. This has a wider diameter of the brush hairs, and this one is a little more narrow, and actually it's slightly shorter. But if you take the water brush medium, and I have to get this out to show you, the Premier water brush, you get the medium. I love this little thing here. This is the medium. And you look at it, and you look at the medium Niji, this is going to be really noticeable. This is the medium Niji, and look at the difference. Like totally different. So you're going to get a different stroke with that. So I'm going to just kind of show you what I mean. So that's why I like
And
having.
by the way, Karen,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
No.
One of our viewers did ask if you could use the watercolors on mineral paper, and I told her, yes, of course you can. But if you have any mineral paper nearby, could you also just show a little bit of that?
Of course, you know I'd have mineral paper nearby, right?
I know you have an art store behind you. If you guys have ever had a chance to see Karen's studio, it is amazing. Someone, I think Wanda said earlier, you have the best toys, and
I do. I mean,
Karen has everything.
that's why I never get out of my cave. I'm totally happy and content sitting here in my cave. So this is mineral paper, and I just tore up a large sheet of it. We have a new size, which we're going to be featuring in our next live, by the way, and I will be showing these watercolors with that too, because mineral paper is a great surface for all kinds of creating. So I'm going to demonstrate while I've got the mineral paper, and it's different than watercolor paper, obviously. But I'm going to do, let's see what I've got here. What am I going to do? I'm just going to grab a mix here out of my little mix. I'm just going to throw some colors together and create like a leaf. And I'll do one on the plain. Let me do one on I haven't demonstrated this cold press yet. So I'm going to take a sheet of the cold press and some of the mineral paper and just kind of play side by side, give you a side by side. So, but I'm really on the water brush, I was going to show you the different tips. That's right. Otherwise I was going to go to a bigger brush because these are going to be little. The thing with the water brush is you do want to, it's like for me, working small, if I'm working on a little postcard, perfect size here. The water brush is perfect for that because it's the right size. But if I want to work on a big piece of paper, I'd rather have a big mop, a bigger brush. But let's do a little leaf stroke here. So I'm going to do like a little kind of just kind of seeing the responsiveness of the brush. This is on the cold press. Now that's with one brush. And I'm going to take the same size. It's the medium of the water brush, the original water brush, and I'm going to do another little part here, and I'm just going to do like just checking the responsiveness. So each one of them, the responsiveness is beautiful. I can get a really fine tip, and I can press down and make a nice fine point. You can see that I'm just able to make this beautiful fine point. Now let me show you some lettering just to show you the capability of these. And then I'll show you the other one, the Premiere. I'm just going to put, I'll make a Y. I'm just doing some kind of like your typical lettering where you would go press down and then you press up. So you have the responsiveness. I'm able to get a very nice light stroke and then a dark, heavy one, light, heavy, and the brush is bouncing nicely right back to where it's supposed to go. I didn't finish the word, but here, let me finish it here on this one. So I'm going to take the medium with the Premiere. These are made with very nice fibers, nylon fibers. I'll just finish it off. I want to see if I can get the same or similar. So I'm going to press down, and this makes much wider stroke. And the brush hairs, I'm just noticing, are softer than the original. I can just tell by the way I'm pushing down, and then it bounces up to a very fine. You see how I was able to get that? These hairs, I'm just discovering for the first time actually how much softer they are than the Niji water brush, the original. So there's actually a difference. Interesting. They're softer. They feel softer. I can explain. It's just a very subtle difference, but they're different. So, whatever you choose, these brushes are just wonderful to work with, and they're high quality, and they're just fantastic. Let me go on the mineral paper so that comparison is over. I'm going to grab a little bigger brush, one with a little more water holding capacity. Not even that big, but I'm just going to show you some mineral paper fun here. So I'm going to grab some purple, which I just don't think I didn't even go. Yeah, I did a little swatch of that purple, but not much. So when you're working with mineral paper, you notice it has a different thing. It's different. I'm going to put some color here on this. And it's sort of floating. It's not like Yupo. Yupo will really float and it will actually probably beat up a little bit. Let's see, grab a little sap green just to throw that in. And I'm just going to put it on and just kind of dot it on a little bit. And then I'm going to take that sap green combination, this sap green, and maybe mix it with this. And then I'm just going to just do another side to this leaf, because I just wanted to show you how different it is than the paper where this soaks in. There's a sizing on this, but it soaks in. Mineral paper isn't sized, it's made of calcium carbonate. Of course, it's not going to soak in, but there is a little bit of soaking in, and I'll show you. I'm going to put some purple here on the end. You will, if you paint with mineral paper, it will leave a residue. So I'm going to put some turquoise. I'll just show you what I mean. I'll put some turquoise down here, just a little circle of it. And let's say if I had mineral or Yupo, I could change my mind and wipe it off and it would probably just come off completely. This one, I doubt. So let me just take off, I'm going to take my towel and I'm going to try to get it all off. And I don't think I'm going to be able to. See how it leaves a little, I wiped off all the liquid, but it left a little halo, which I think is really pretty neat. So you can actually just work with mineral paper. It's kind of a hybrid between, let's say Yupo and watercolor paper. It's just different. So you can create, you can draw on it. You can see I've got these nice little fine lines. I can make a flower. And yesterday I was doing poppies. Let me see if I can do a poppy on this. So see how nice and fine lines. But let's see if I'm going to try something. I should use the sumi brush, but I'm going to I'll use kind of I don't have a sumi brush close by, within arm's reach anyway. But let me just try this. See what happens. I'm going to load up my brush with a color for a flower color. I think maybe yellow. Now these little half pans are a little bit tough to do big paintings because they are, meant more for travel. So if you wanted to get a lot of color in your brush, it's going to take a little bit more work than if you had a big pan or a tube. But I just want to show you something that's kind of going to be fun. I hope. We'll see. And then I'm going to grab some color. I'm going to try to moisten this a little bit so I don't have to rough the brush up too much. I'm going to put some of this gamboge color in here. So I'm just trying to get this thing soaked with some color so you can see. And now I'm going to grab a little orange. Just grab it here on the brush. And then the very last thing I'm going to do, I've got some red too. Why not? Just trying to make a layered effect here. And then I'm going to take the very last part and I'm going to dip. I've got the point of this in that purple color. Another purple color. And let me just see what happens. Now I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see it better. All right, let's try it. Now, if this was a sumi brush, I would just push it down and then I could, oh yeah, very nice. So I'm creating these petals. It's working kind of like a sumi brush would. I've just created the petals like that. And what I've got is a flower, right? Simple, I could change it up. It looks like I've got I might be able to do another whole flower. I've got a lot of paint on this thing. Now, if I were to use regular paper, like regular watercolor paper, I think I'd be out of paint already. So I'm able to get these much more paint because it's not just soaking into the paper. So that is really fun. I like that. I'm going to do some more of those. And then I can take my colors, like I could take the Payne's gray, maybe mix it with a little purple and create the center part, like making some little pieces in here to create the little pollen. I can do the same in here, just little bits here. And you can see how it's kind of working. And I'll just kind of do that. Maybe make it a little bit more in here. Put some brown or just soften that color a little bit right in here. And then what you would want to do is you would want to take a brush and create your stem. And I'm liking the mineral paper doing this. So it's a little bit more forgiving than when I use the rice paper. That's for sure. So I'm going to create a stem and I'm just going to go start up here and I'm just going to bring poppies kind of have a wiggly like this kind of thing, maybe too thick, but that's okay. And then they have these little bits that kind of come around like this. And then I can actually make the little flowers that haven't been bloomed yet. I'm just going to make little pieces here and maybe one here. And then I can add my little pollen pieces, whatever those are called. Now the sumi thing, what I did to make the little hairs of the brush of the of this, I'm going to show you what I did. I'm hoping I can do it with I probably can do it with a flat brush. I'm going to get a flat brush real quick. Let's see, where is my flat brush? Oh, here's one. So I got a flat wash brush, or I could use the flat water brush, even better. Because a flat water brush is going to be perfect for this. So what I do to make the little, I take the brush, I'm just going to mix it with whatever I've got here in my tray. And what I have is this little, I've got like a little pin, and I'm going to just check it out, make sure I get the little hairs. Yep. And I could spread it apart. Now these are cool because you can actually take if I can get this off, I can turn this. You see what I've done? I just created a new brush by that's what I'm looking for right there. So yeah, spread the thing apart, not with my fingers, but with the actual, by spinning the cap around. And that's how I'm able to get these. Let me just get this dry brush. I'm doing this on purpose. It looks like I'm beating up the brush, but I'm trying not to. And now I'm going to do is I'm going to make these little hairs that come off the sides of these little poppies. If you notice that poppies have hairs that come out of the little branch, out of the stems or the stalks or whatever we want to call them. And I'm just kind of going to do that and load up, just make little tiny little bits with that. Now I was able to do that. Now I can change this if I want to add more water. I can put this back to its normal condition by just turning the little thing back to where it was. And now it's back to its original shape, pretty much. I haven't killed it too much. And I'm just going to dip it again and see if I can get a different kind of line or a different mark. And then just kind of making you can do different things. There we go. I got the look that I'm looking for, and I'll just go out this way. I don't know if you see it because I'm covering it up with my hand, but there it is. And then I'm going to just I kind of overdid that. So I'm going to lift this a little bit. Mineral paper is great for, you can lift color off a lot easier than you would if you were to do paper. So I can actually make this stem even more translucent by just dabbing it like that. See how I'm lifting that center out? I can do the same with this, just kind of pulling some of the color off. And then I'm going to just gently take that and lift it. So you've got all kinds of options. And I'm loving how that this came out. Then I can just grab, I want to make grass or just about anything. I'm just going to take this and just, yep, go ahead. Sorry, Phoebe.
No, go ahead. Or well, actually, this is related to what you're doing. I think because of what you were just doing and what you were showing with the brushes, Chris was asking, can you adjust the brush head? And I think it was kind of like referring to what I did with this one. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so you can do that with the flat. You can do this with the flats. Now you can also do this with any brush, but you just have to be careful. Like I like doing it with the sumi brush, which I do have one close enough. I'm going to show you. If you don't do sumi painting, if you're not a sumi artist, you don't do, you're just not somebody who would want to just use sumi ink. These brushes are fantastic. I had to grab this because I just used it yesterday, and I want to show you something. Because if you wanted to use this in your creative, put it in your creative arsenal. These are not expensive. Phoebe, how much are these? These are CC brushes. They're meant to be beat up too. They're really super strong. And just in general watercolor, I'm going to show you something. So they don't have the spring that a regular watercolor brush has. You can see they're very malleable, but they don't have the bounce. They look kind of sad right there, but that is actually a good thing. Let me show you what.
And while you do that, I'll just mention they range in price. It's like $4.90 to $7.15. We have 6 sizes, and I didn't catch which size that one is.
This is the CC3. It's a really good size.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
In between, but you can get a little one, a CC1, which would make if you work smaller. And I wanted to show you. I'm going to kind of go in here, and I'm kind of bashing it around a little on purpose. Now, what I'm getting So that I can control now, right now, what kind of line or what I'm gonna get. So I won't do it to this, but let's say I want to add some texture to my watercolors and I just want to add some little lines, grasses. You know, I'll do some grass down here. Can you see there? I'll just make some grass. See how nice little, I've actually created, instead of having to
So
take a
cool.
brush and go one at a time, I'm getting lots of different, getting these lines and I can make cross hatching, whatever you wanted to do, then you can use it as a tool in your arsenal. So that you can't really do to a nice watercolor, you know, to a regular watercolor brush. Like I wouldn't do this, what I just did to this brush, it just won't work. But I can do it to this one. So this, if just in case you haven't discovered these kinds of brushes, this is what they're beautiful for. They make shapes. They can look at these little marks that I can make. I couldn't do that with my watercolor brush, all right? Because just couldn't. Making a little, I don't know what that is. It looks like to me like one of those things you blow. They're like little cotton, not cotton. There's those little things you, when they, oh boy, I used to know. Oh, my brain. But yeah, you blow them and all the little seeds go everywhere. There's a name for it. Somebody help me.
Dandelions.
Thank you. I needed that. I was just gonna go crazy if I didn't. I couldn't remember. Doesn't that look like a dandelion? You know, and then I
Yeah,
could just do
Denise
a
jumped
little.
on. She said it too.
I
And then
appreciate it. Yeah,
we
help. You know, then I can make a little dandelion stem here. Yeah, this
you
is a
just brought
big
out your
dandelion.
sumi brushes. Tracy commented that she uses her sumi brushes to paint tea and coffee water on her mixed media projects. And then that gives it an antique vintage effect, which I thought was cool.
Yes, absolutely. So these are like, this is kind of a, I don't know, this is the weirdest painting I've ever done. But anyway, I wanted you to see how fun it is to work with the mineral paper. And then, you know, so whatever you have, just anything, just mark on anything, even like old book pages, make marks and use your watercolors on all kinds of surfaces. And this one would be fun too. If I wanted to add some lines in my flower, I could change the shape of this and just kind of, you know, reconfigure it, maybe add a little yellow or orange to it, just kind of, there we go. And what I could do is just kind of shape it a little bit, and then I can make little lines here. Or I can drag out lines that if I have paint inside, you see how the lines are showing up very well on that. And that would work for even for any of your papers. Anything. It's just great for that. So that's how you can draw color out. Let's say you have an area of puddled paint. You can create these little lines, and now I've got a more realistic looking flower and that. So I just wanted to drag that out. So I think we're about done. I think we did it. Any more questions? Isn't it about time for a giveaway?
It is about time. I think we're good. No more questions, but we got a lot of love for the dandelion. I'm gonna mute myself real quick though, because I hear a siren coming by.
Okay, and I want to just say hi to the people that I haven't said, like I see Chris. Hi, Chris. Denise Albright. I see Wanda's here. Hi, Julie. So glad you could come. Julie, that's awesome. So yay. And Wanda, of course. And I don't know, it looks like we got a good, somebody's got a good chance of winning. So I'm
We
excited.
got a good turnout. So we have 26 viewers with us now. We had like almost 20 entries for the giveaway. So
Wow.
we're so excited about these new items. I think we're gonna do 2 giveaways.
Even
We're gonna do
better,
2 lucky
Phoebe.
winners.
Yay,
Yeah.
2 giveaways.
All right. So
Yay.
let's okay, I'm gonna take my video. I'm gonna put it over to me real quick. I'll add my spotlight because I think everyone likes to see your creative side too. But we have our origami box with everybody's entries back in here. So we'll just go ahead and pick 2 names, and then I'll follow up with you 2 winners on Facebook to get your information. So real quick, I'll just kind of mention what we're going to send you. We'll send you 1 each of the new watercolor paper pads. So you'll get a cold press and a hot press pad. And then also a pack of the new Niji water brushes that Karen showed that come in that plastic container with the blue handle, the blue and clear, the blue grip and the transparent
This set,
barrel.
right? This set?
That's the set. Yeah, our
Yeah.
new Niji Premier water brushes that we think are really cool. It's just got a really neat feature for filling and cleaning and emptying. And it goes along great with your watercolor sets. And as Karen demonstrated, we have the 12 and 24 color sets. So when I reach out to you two winners, you let me know which one you'd like. If you want the portable, I guess they're both portable. If you want the cute 12 color set to take it on the go, you can pick that one, or you could pick the 24 color set if you want more options.
And remember
So-
the mixing color, the 12 color set is really brilliant for color mixing. If you really want to just keep your, things down to a minimum and have a smaller set, it's still going to give you as many colors as the 24. So it's a matter of your choice, but they're both just as good.
Absolutely. All right, so here we go. I'll shake it up.
Drum roll, drum roll. Do, 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 do.
All right. So we'll go with, gosh. All right. 1 and jumble it up a little more. 2. All right. So our winners are Denise A. in Florida, one of our regular viewers.
Congratulations,
everyone's a
Denise.
regular.
Yay.
All right, I'm going to follow up with you. And our second winner is Julie B., who is watching from Superior.
Even better. Yay. Congratulations.
So Denise in Florida and Julie in Wisconsin, if you could just drop a little comment, then that way you can let us know you're here and I'll follow up with you.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Your
'Cause
prize. Yep,
this
Denise
is
is here.
awesome.
Yay. And everybody, thank you so much for joining us. This is so much fun. And like I said, we're going to stay here on Facebook for the live streams, but we will also post these up on YouTube if that's easier for you to watch afterwards. And we're just so happy that we were able to do this and that so many of you were able to join us. It's so much fun doing this.
It's so much fun. I always have fun working with Phoebe and working
Oh,
with Julie. I just wanted
likewise.
to say hi. I'm here. I'm got my head out of the paper there. I just wanted to say thank you for coming, everybody. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Julie's here too. Perfect. So I'm going to follow up with some of you with Julie and Denise on Facebook Messenger, and we'll see you guys back in our next live stream, which is scheduled for 2 weeks from now, September 30th, 2 Fridays from now. And I know, already the end
What
of
happened to
September.
September?
I know. And in that live stream, we'll be showing our new mineral paper pad that Karen mentioned. And of course, we'll have some other goodies in there too. So it'll be another fun session, another fun creative session. All right. Well, thank you all and have a great weekend, everybody.
Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks, Phoebe.
Bye. Thank you so much, Karen.
Bye-bye.
Bye.